Is it good morning or good afternoon? So greetings. I am Joshua Hong. I am one of the co-founders of Mind.ai. I actually was not supposed to be here. It was supposed to be my partner, who's a medical doctor, and he is the CEO of the company, but he had a surgery just 2 days ago, so he couldn't make it here. So I am here as a backup. So my slides are a little bit probably out of whack. So if that's the case, then I'm just gonna sort of change things around as I go. So let's just go ahead and start, okay? So Mind.ai is essentially a artificial general intelligence ecosystem. And you're gonna hear this a lot when you think about blockchain. Blockchain is all about taking centralized control out of the system and then distribute the power across all the nodes. And when it comes to AI, that concept is way more important than any other industries because AI is about our future. I view AI not as some kind of third-person development where if it happens, great. If it doesn't, then it's still okay. It's not like that at all. I think my life has become so complicated to the point where I need an AI for me. It is an extension of who I am. It is an essential part of my next evolutionary sort of step. In that process, I don't want any centralized authority dictating what is right for me or what is wrong for me. So that is really the central theme behind Mind.ai. Okay, so tomorrow we are actually hosting our own event called AGI Forum at the University of Geneva. It took us about a year and a half to build our own first set of APIs so that other decentralized application developers can use our systems. But we're going to be premiering our product demo at 2 o'clock at the university. So I think we already sold out for 150 people. We are about to accept maybe 20 to 30 more people. If you're interested, please talk to me afterwards. So let's start with my journey to what I call the great fallacy of AI. So my regular job used to be actually venture capitalist. I started out as an engineer. I worked as a technology consultant at Accenture, got my MBA, joined Deutsche Bank, become an investment banker on Wall Street, got bored, so I started my own online game company in California. That was about 10 years ago. And I ended up building 3 online game companies, had 2 exits, raised a bunch of money. So I am pretty experienced entrepreneur, but at the same time, a financier. I invest. I also take the money from other investors and put it into use and build innovation. So I'm very used to the process. And maybe 3 years ago, I got hooked on digital health. And one of the key ideas that I had was I wanted to build a telemedicine app where we create a 2-sided marketplace where we bring doctors and patients and have them message each other, and then we take a little sliver of the, whatever the commission that the patients pay. Very simple concept. We had that product for just a regular medical sort of field for humans, and then also pets as well. My fund ended up investing about $4 million into these businesses. The core idea was we wanted to add AI as a way to help doctors. Why? Did you know that in America, the #1 killer in America today in medical field is not cancer, it's not diabetes, it's misdiagnosis. Doctors making mistakes all the time, and they don't even know about it often. So we felt that there's nothing better than AI that could help doctors to minimize the total number of misdiagnoses. So we decided to partner with Ibm Watson. And we bet the company on the technology, and the outcome is that it didn't work. 3 reasons. Number 1, IBM basically wanted to control all the data. When it comes to medical information, it's a private information. But the way the IBM Watson was built, it sort of had to commingle their existing unstructured data to the point where it was really complicated. It's a classic centralized data model that no longer serves the best interest of the people. For example, Google, maybe 20 years ago, maybe that's just too long, maybe 12, 13 years ago, I was willing to make the trade-off where I get free email, I'm willing to give them my data. Today, that trade is no longer valid for me. The digital footprint that defines who I am in the digital world is far more important than just getting regular free email services. So in a way, sort of IBM being what it is, it wanted to control everything. And from our perspective, it was just too sensitive. The second problem was this AI doctor, when it actually diagnosed, let's say you have a type 2 diabetes, there's got to be some system that allows you to trace back how the conclusion was made. But the current AI paradigm in Silicon Valley doesn't allow it. It's a pure black box. So if you go talk to Google or IBM or Amazon, doesn't matter who you talk to. Today's dominant, let's say, machine learning, deep sort of a learning kind of environment, whatever goes into the black box, and this system will tell you what to do, but it doesn't really tell you how the conclusion was made. And there's a big problem in the medical field. So that was another problem. The third problem was it was an open system. So, I mean, yes, we were partner to IBM, but they dictated everything. If they did not want to support our system, we're screwed. So in the end, after trying about 2 years, we realized that the partnership didn't work. And in fact, this entire field of AI sort of didn't work in a commercial sense. So me and my partner decided that, you know what, hell with it, we're going to build our own AI. So that sort of crazy moonshot idea is what makes today's civilization continue to innovate itself. It's sort of like, when I look at Einstein, he wasn't exactly the best mathematician in his time. He wasn't exactly even the best physicist in his time, in my opinion. I mean, he wrote the first paper on quantum mechanics. 20 years later, he denounced it, right? But what defines Einstein is he had this incredible curiosity. He devoted his entire life to find answers to that. Whether he found the answer or not, that's sort of secondary. What's important is he tried. He took that moonshot. We at the Mind.ai, we're basically trying to do the same thing. What we're saying is the current AI paradigm is not on the right path because it doesn't work. If it works, then it works in a very narrow sense. What it means is, you can't really call a fast calculator an intelligent being. You can't call computer an intelligent being. It's just a fast machine. And that's what AI today is. Just because you play chess game faster than the master, or just because you can do the Go game faster than anything else, doesn't mean that that thing is intelligent. It's just a fast calculator. When it comes to dealing with the human health, we need an empathetic, intelligent system that could function as almost like a human. And it also must be able to understand natural language. If you look at the computer system that Google or IBM have been building, it's sort of ones and zeros. You don't know what's going on inside. And this is how you create Skynet, right? So we wanted to build this artificial general intelligence based on transparent system, which is also decentralized, and also it's open source. And it's a very audacious goal, but we decided that we're going to go for it. So today, you ask Siri, hey Siri, can you tell me what that is? Almost certainly, Siri will not be able to tell you exactly what that is. Why? Because it cannot reason. It can recognize patterns. It can solve quantitative problems really fast. But the moment you cross over to qualitative side, it just cannot function because it does not know how to reason. And also, the current state of artificial intelligence is sort of becoming a, shall I say, arms race. I'm not Chinese, so maybe I need to be a little bit more careful. But it's literally, if you look at the entire AI ecosystem as these, let's say, roughly about 10,000 qualified experts who make roughly about $500,000 a year, 60–70% of these scientists are actually working for exactly 7 corporations between China and US. 4 or 5 of them are based in US. These are IBM, Uber, Amazon, Facebook, and Google. And then 3 are in China, Baidu, Tencent, and Alibaba. That's it. So if you are a small startup stuck in, let's say, Poland, or let's say Ukraine, or South Korea, good luck. The cost of building a product using existing AI, using existing AI experts is going to be astronomically high. You're not going to be able to compete. How is that fair? It is not fair. So we decided that we need to level the playing field. And the only way that we know how to do that is actually blockchain. Because blockchain removes that central authority figure. It does not depend itself on large corporations that has all the data, all the supercomputing power, and all the money. It does not basically all it needs is a bunch of nodes decided to congregate and then trade. So let's kind of dig into a little bit core mechanics of Mind.ai. So what is reasoning? Reasoning to me is being able to gather facts, and then you come up with a hypothesis, and then you either prove it or disprove it, and then you come to a conclusion. It's a classic scientific inference process. And there are really three different ways to do this. Either you do inductive reasoning, or deductive reasoning, or abductive reasoning. Okay, got it. So what we did was, in order to really build a proper artificial general intelligence, we need to create a unit of reasoning. It's like, if you look at the world, any kind of atomic structure, it has a basic elemental structure. There's oxygen, there's hydrogen or iron. And then when you put all these different elemental structures together, then it creates this synthetic structure. That is what we see this material. We believe that the human argument or the reasons can be done the same way. So in order to do that, we have to define what that unit of reasoning is, and then put that into blockchain, make that a communally owned, and then you plug that into our reasoning engine that we built, and then we have now the AGI ecosystem. So I think I'm running out of time, so let me just kind of...
Artificial intelligence is the new...
Let me skip this one. So I just want to get to some of the key differentiator of Mind.ai. One is it's a natural language based. You could speak to it, you could listen to it, and you should be able to interact. It's a human understandable logic. It's a transparent, and it supports any language. And once we convert any human knowledge into what we call canonical structure, then the machine can manipulate, start, theorize on its own. It starts to reason on its own. So we're making a lot of progress. One of the key a feature of our system is the use of blockchain. So we essentially separated our reasoning engine from the actual, let's say, ontologies. These ontologies are crowdsourced using our tokens. So people can actually put their, let's say, facts or ontologies on blockchain, get paid for it, and then our reasoning engine will then work with the blockchain to actually perform certain logic or request. So again, I think I'm running out of time. So if you're interested, please come talk to me after this session, after our the panel discussions. And I would love to invite you to our AGI forum tomorrow. Thank you.